What's up, Womack Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of Nas and DJ Premier's collab album. Light years, Nas and Primo have at last finally made a full album together after their decades-long collaboration as two of the most essential figures in New York rap. And while DJ Premier has certainly been around lately, he has not been around nearly as much as Nas. This marks his 7th album since 2020, of course, following the 3 King's Disease albums and the 3 Magic albums. He won that Grammy. He got some other Grammy noms as well during this run. And overall, this has been a really fruitful period for Nas and Nas fans because while, of course, these albums are not touching the greatness of his early career, of his 90s and early 2000s works, no one's also expecting that to happen either. And what you're getting is just really capable, really good old head rap because Nas has a really high floor as one of the GOAT MCs. I love Nas and DJ Premier's collab album Light Years. Nas continuing his incredible run in the 2020s and linking up with one of the best rap producers of all time, unsurprisingly, bears really good results. Nas sounds clear and crisp on these beats, continuing to dole out wisdom and observations without coming across as preachy or old. And these DJ Premier beats, unsurprisingly, are almost exclusively bangers because his scratching, his sampling, his general vibe really fits. I mean, if you're an old school hip hop fan, if you're a fan of Primo, you're a fan of Nas, this is going to be exactly in your wheelhouse. And there's some real highlights here, including the long-awaited 3rd New York State of Mind song. Nas is really demonstrating what it's like to age gracefully in rap. I think he's one of our best examples of that at this point. And yeah, there's a lot of songs on here I really enjoyed. The first track, My Life Is Real, I mean, you get the classic Primo scratching right away, sounds great. Love the keys, love the snares. Just a total banger. Nas shouting out some New York rap MCs of yore in the beginning of the song. The next one, Get Ready. This one was a real highlight for me, really exciting because right away you hear Nas, mimicking Biggie's flow and cadence on Only You, his feature with 112. The Jesus lyrical thesis. Like you hear the bars coming out of Nas right away and you're like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're referencing and it sounds great. It's really cool homage. That being said, that song also features some of Nas's most heavy crypto bars and they pop up here and there on this album. And yeah, I don't think rapping about cryptocurrency and like the gains you're making as like a businessman, as a money man, it just doesn't come across as nearly as cool, rapping about investments like that. And like, I know he's trying to dole out wisdom and be an example and things like that. But when it's specifically crypto, it just comes across as a bit lame. Gotta be honest. Of course, New York State of Mind 3. The beat is a little bit similar to the first one, not entirely the same, but similar realm here. And you get the Billy Joel sample from 1976. You hear Joel singing, playing the piano, of course, the song of the same name, with these eerie strings from Primo. Nas sounds great on it. Again, he sounds great in the whole album, but this song is really cool. The first New York State of Mind, of course, one of the highlights of Illmatic, the signature Nas album, obviously. New York State of Mind 2, that was back on I Am. And then New York State of Mind 3 did exist at one point. It leaked out in the early 2000s. So this is the first time an official version of New York State of Mind 3 is actually coming out. So really cool, I think, for longtime Nas fans. Welcome to the Underground. I really enjoyed the bass guitar on that. That's pretty absent throughout the rest of the album. Pause Tapes is kind of cool. It's almost like a little time capsule in terms of the OG music recording process, OG mixing process from Premiere. Enjoyable. Writers, love the scratching again from Primo on that one. Sons, I think this one's definitely a highlight for sure. Sons, parentheses, Young Kings. The jazzy keys on this sound great. But I think Nas lyrically, talking about parents, specifically parents of young boys, sounds really great. Again, like kind of that wisdom, kind of that old head vibe, but really kind of heartfelt song in terms of trying to express some admiration and encouragement and things like that. Sounds great. Its time is notable because it's a very out of nowhere Steve Miller Band sample. Kind of surprising to me. Definitely a funkier bass line in line with the Steve Miller sound. Definitely cool, I guess, for its uniqueness, I guess you could say. Nasky Esco Nasir. This one, I really enjoy the back and forth when Nas giving you 2 different personas on the mic. Always fun when a rapper's able to pull something like that off, and I think he definitely does here. The snares, the very eerie strings, drill-esque, you could say, from Primo sounds awesome. My Story, Your Story features none other than AZ, of course, long time Nas collaborator, featured on Illmatic. You know the rapper at this point, but hearing them go bar for bar in 2025, I mean, that's just a really fun callback, and the song's good. Bouquet to the Ladies is another kind of appreciation type song like Sons. And this is one where Nas literally shouts out by name basically every female rapper, young and old, alive and dead, that you can think of. I certainly couldn't think of anyone he left off in this song. I'm sure he missed someone. But it does seem like he mentioned just about everyone of consequence. And yeah, maybe that's going to come across as a bit preachier than Sons because of the hyper specificity of it. But I think it was pretty cool. You know, I like the respect he's thrown out there. Junkie, I like this one. I think it's a really fun beat from Primo. The strings are really dancing on this track. The snares sound great too. But Nas talking about how he's a hip hop junkie. He loves this shit. It's in his blood. And I just love to hear that from a rapper in their 50s, talking about how they still love it as much as they always had. That's great. And then lastly, Third Childhood, I thought was a pretty strong introspective closer from Nas. So yeah, Nas, I mean, gosh, what is it? This is around his 20th album, if you count the collab albums alongside the solo albums, we're around there. He's like, 52, 53? Sounds great. There's a lot more to get out of here, you know? I mean, Clips, Pushing Malice, they sounded great earlier this year. They're also in their 50s. We're continuing to break new ground in terms of what it means to be an old head in rap and the previous shelf life people used to ascribe to rappers. I mean, gosh, I used to be in the 40s, and now we're long since past that when you think about how old people like Kendrick and Cole and Drake are, and even people like A$AP Rocky are in their late 30s at this point, right? Rap continues to get a lot older, and there's a lot more longevity than there used to be from people that want to stick around. And it seems like it's easier to stick around too, as well now with, you know, the music infrastructure in place today that maybe wasn't in place 10, 15 years ago. This is a really cool place to be, and Nas, I think, is really kind of paving the way. And I would not be shocked if this gets nominated at the next Grammys for Best Rap Album, just because the Grammys have of late been very predisposed to pick, you know, older, more experienced artists in that category, hence the multiple nominations Nas has got in the last few years. So I would not be shocked if this album comes up for that. Whether it wins again, not so sure. You know, I feel he kind of had that coronation, lifetime achievement Grammys moment when he won for King's Disease. So we'll see. But yeah, shout out Nas, shout out Premier. I mean, God, his beats always are just incredible. If you talk about someone who hasn't aged, I mean, his talent as a mixer, as a producer, is indistinguishable from now as it is back then. Love it. Let me know what you think of Light Years from Nas and Primo. And for more music reviews, more rap reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.